this chap here, for example, you know, Michael Hart.
Oh, mashallah.
He wrote a book.
That's nice.
And he wrote a book about the most influential person that ever existed in history.
Chris.
If I die believing Jesus is the Son of God, what does that mean?
It's blasphemy.
What does it mean?
It's blasphemy.
I'll make it easy for you. Shall I make it easy?
Yes.
All right. Christianity and Islam cannot be reconciled. Well, I'll tell you.
All heaven, and he's not going to burn in hell for eternity.
I have found a translation, even if I find one.
No.
Even if I find one, a translation where this is the word "see" is used. Where is your point now?
Chris, you atheists claim to be intellectual,
yes,
reasonable,
yes,
logical.
Yes.
Well, we've got the evidence here. You're not.
Wrong.
Chris, that's unbelievable.
What I would
man.
say to you is this, Chris, you've got to appreciate that if you apply that type of argument, hold on a second, just please hear me out, right? If you apply that type of an argument, then we could deny anything. We could even deny our own reality now here. You could deny absolutely everything. You could deny that tree exists, that sun exists.
No.
You could just say that
Actually, no, because
You don't know.
accept this reality.
No, because that's exactly.
Why do you accept reality?
Because I can feel it.
Okay, when I dream, it feels real.
Yeah.
No.
Dreams
When
are
I
actually real. They're actually plain.
No, but Chris,
no, but they're not real. They're not real. Dreams are real.
No,
sorry.
Brain activity is real.
No. Is a dream real? Sorry. I have to say this. Is a dream real?
It's actually a real thing in your head.
Is it
real electrons?
How do you understand the term real?
Creating illusion, which is you see as.
So is a dream real or an illusion?
It's like a TV film.
Is a TV film real or an illusion?
The cellulotape of a TV film is real.
Right. When I dream, listen to me. When I dream,
chemicals,
Chris.
All that's passing around your head.
Chris. When I dream,
it's actually a real thing.
Chris.
It's a delusion.
How do you distinguish between your dreams and the real and reality? How do you distinguish between your dreams and what's not?
It could be a problem, yeah.
You can't distinguish
It can be a
between
problem.
Yeah. So you don't know actually if you're dreaming now, for example.
Could be. There's a useless
I'm going to tell you a very quick story, very quick one. It's quite funny actually. This, right? I had an alarm. He was wake up in the morning, right? And this tone is very, very annoying. Right? And he used to wake me up in the morning. This one I lived back at my mum's house in Manchester. Right? Anyway, so the alarm going off, yeah. So I'm trying to stop this alarm, right? It's going. I'm trying to stop this alarm, and it's not stopping, right? And I'm thinking, shaking the clock, it's not stopping. So I get a screwdriver, right, and I open up this clock, right, and I take the whole thing to pieces, and it's all over my bed, all these mechanics of this alarm, and it's still going. And my mum comes into the room, she goes, turn that bloody alarm off, right? And I'm trying, right? And guess what? I wake up again, and the alarm's going off. No, for me, that was real, mate.
Yeah.
That was real, mate. So, as he said, how do you know what's real and what's not? If you want to go down there, it's another story.
Stages,
Yeah.
So
I would say
this reality is real because it's the only viable conclusion.
So, this takes you back to the question I asked you about how do you know what you're thinking and rationalising. The tool that we have that's evolved, as you believe, with biology, is actually something reliable. So I'll give you an example. Does evolution cause an evolution of thought process that lead to truth? That was the point I was trying to get to.
Well, at least thought processes.
Why would you say that? What's your evidence? I can give you an example. I can give you a kind of
You look at
example.
what's going on in play. In any plane, in the simplest chemicals. There's electrons buzzing around inside there, chemicals buzzing around. It's causing thoughts. You can see that, demonstrate that in living animals.
So the question is about, are the thoughts truthful? Do they lead to truth?
Well, they can do. They can lead to delusion.
So if I give you a counter-example, what would you make of it? I'll give you an example. So there's a creature, call it a mammal, that doesn't eat any of a particular type of berry because it believes that all berries are poisonous. So it doesn't eat them all. There's another creature that has evolved to select some berries of a certain coloration and eats those. But it doesn't eat the rest because it believes that the rest are poisonous and will kill it. Are any of those true?
Could be. They're going to test them to eat the berries. And most animals do eat berries, and they find out what the poison is.
So I've given you a specific example. So the creature that doesn't eat any of the berries, it will survive, it will reproduce, its genes will get passed on, that thought process that has evolved will also get passed on. Because it's already not eating any berries. It's not going to change because it's evolved that way.
That's not how things evolve. They test things. Everything's a test.
What's the test?
Evolution, everything is always tested. You can always test. That's the point. You can always test.
Test. What are you talking about? What are you?
Berries. You can test the berries.
So which mammal is testing which berries? The one that doesn't eat any berries at all. The mammal in my example that I've given you that doesn't eat berries at all.
Exist.
I'm giving an example.
The analogy is that evolution doesn't actually work that way. Real life out there in the wild.
Okay, so tell me how evolution works.
Doesn't work that way. Animals try food. Their children are terrible at putting things in their mouth, aren't they? They're constantly testing things.
Don't conflate children with animals. Let's be very specific.
All animals
You tell me how.
Things.
No. You tell me how evolution works.
It's a constant testing.
No. How? No. You're not answering the question. You're just using the word testing a lot.
Yes, that's what it is.
How does evolution work?
Which model of evolution are you adhering to? Which model? Which one are you saying is the way?
The normal one. Everything's a test. Everything's constantly being tested. And what survives?
How's it being tested?
Well, you take berries. But berries aren't that. Most berries aren't totally poisonous. You have one, it tastes bad, you don't eat it again. Take another one, it's really nice, you eat more of them.
No. If the berry kills you, berry kills you, then what happens?
There's no such berry. There's no such berry that kill you.
There are no poisonous berries.
It's not that one berry will kill you.
Okay, Chris,
Lots of berries will kill you.
Chris,
one won't. One will make you ill.
Chris,
No, that's how it works.
Chris, can you relax? Can you just relax and have a discussion?
You're making it sort of ill.
All right. So one berry.
If you eat one berry, that'll make you ill, but it won't kill you.
Yeah.
If you eat lots of them, it'll kill you.
Do you think an animal?
So you take one berry.
Chris, you've lost.
Chris, so what you're saying now? So Chris, just to understand what you're saying, you're saying an animal will come to a bush of berries, and it will take one berry, chew it up a bit, wait to see the reaction, and then if that doesn't have an adverse reaction, it'll come back to the bush and eat more berries. Is that what you're claiming?
Basically.
You're saying the animal won't go to a bush of berries and just eat berries until it's full. I don't get that.
See, Chris, you're not even being reasonable. You're not even being reasonable.
That's not even rational.
An
animal. You're saying to me an animal will take one berry.
So animal does a scientific process.
The whole point
animals
of
are scientists.
Is they don't want to be eaten.
So an animal.
They taste bad.
The berries don't want to be eaten.
Yeah. The berries which are poisonous taste bad. That's why they're poisonous. So they won't be eaten.
So the mammal that avoids all the berries, has it arrived at any truth about the world or not?
Yeah. Some berries are dangerous.
Okay, not all berries though.
No, it doesn't know everything.
Okay, so
no, but this mammal believes all berries are dangerous. Let's give you an example. Let's say a berry. This will stop his silly example. Sure. Let's just say a berry. Right. No, I'll tell you what. All right, ready? All right, ready for this? A mammal goes to a bush and eats a berry.
Yeah.
And he waits a day to see the result of that berry. No, listen. You got to listen to this. All right. And then he has an adverse reaction to this berry, has a bit of diarrhea, and realizes, you know what, that berry's not good. Then he comes to the conclusion from eating that one berry that all berries are poisonous, and therefore are you saying now is that a true concept because he tasted that one berry?
He's discovered that some berries.
No, not some. But he's concluded now that all berries must do this to you.
Okay, maybe he's concluded.
And then his descendants and children come to this conclusion that all berries are poisonous. Is that objective truth or not?
They'll probably try them as well.
No. It doesn't work that way with evolution.
You just said it does.
How does it? How does it? If it's come to the conclusion...
Please, you're such a simplistic view of evolution.
How is it?
Because everything tests.
So what you're saying is... So now what you're saying... Sorry. So now what you're saying... Chris, so now what you're saying, just so I understand...
Constant testing.
I might misunderstand. Let me just see if I've understood. So now what you're saying is, even if there's an adverse reaction to that berry, now the animal then, the next day, is going to go to a different berry bush and try that berry as well. Let's see if that is.
Different berry.
Right, and then what you're saying is its descendants will ignore what its parents did, and no, you just said
they don't understand.
Right. So now what he's saying now, right? The young of that species won't pay attention to what its parents did, and it will have to test it itself. So now, according to his evolution, now there is no evolving.
I think
everything.
No, it's nonsensical area.
No, it's good. It's good.
I think, Chris, what we should just finish up on and say is that, look. If you were, Chris, even if you were objective, I think, look, just soften your character a little bit. Just try to please listen to what we're trying to say to you. You don't have to accept it. No, listen to what I'm saying.
Your arguments I've heard.
No, but Chris, listen.
Not a new argument.
But Chris, listen. What I find, because I had a discussion with you previously as well.
You've actually told people this before.
You see, Chris. What I'm saying is that we've had this discussion before as well, right? Just don't be so rigid in your views that you purport, silly arguments to defend. But when you say a spark, that is silly. Come on, that's silly. Come on, we've got to understand. So all I'm saying to you is that humbly, what I would say to you, Chris, is please give it some consideration. I'll tell you why. Life is very short. Right? Life is incredibly short, Chris.
I've read the Quran.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Life is incredibly short. I'll be 50 next year. Yeah. I can't even understand how half a century of my life is nearly over. Tomorrow we're going to die, Chris. Now, either, Chris, you are right, that nothing happens after death, and I'm not accountable, and I don't have to believe in anything, I can do what I want. Or, after you die, you will be questioned. Now, all I'm saying to you, Chris, is that there's a lot of evidence, and I believe it's very strong evidence, that indeed we will stand in front of God and we will be questioned for what we believe, what we denied, what we did. So all I'm saying to you is that just at least acknowledge that there's a possibility and ponder on that with some deep contemplation. What I'm saying to you is that don't be so
I don't believe
averse. Chris, no, but listen.
A 7-year playing with action, man.
No, but look, that might be true. I don't deny whatever he says.
Not contemplating on God.
It could be. Look, that's not the point. The point here is this, Chris, right? That, Allah tells us in the Quran that after the Day of Judgment, every living thing will be resurrected, and we will be questioned for what we've done. Now, if we are right, you have to accept that there's a huge, colossal consequence of that possibility. If we're wrong, it doesn't matter, right? But the fact that the magnitude of eternity is so great, please give it that importance and ponder on it very carefully.
Okay, I'll answer it like this.
Yes.
I come from a basically Christian background.
Yes.
Which means
yes,
that I should die a Christian. When I die, I should be a Christian. I will die believing Jesus is the Son of God. And what does that mean? What does that mean?
No, but Chris, that's not necessary.
What does it mean?
No, but Chris...
Come on, what does it mean?
No. Well,
what does it mean?
Chris,
if I die believing Jesus is the Son of God, what does that mean?
It's blasphemy.
What does it mean?
It's blasphemy.
I'll make it easy for you. Shall I make it easy?
Yes.
All right. Christianity and Islam cannot be reconciled. What? I'll tell you.
All happen, and he's not going to burn in hell for eternity.
It doesn't mean that.
No, it doesn't mean
that. Come on. Shirk.
No. Can I ask you a question?
Shirk is the one unforgivable sin. If you don't understand the shirk,
listen, Chris.
you burn in hell for eternity. Do not lie to me.
Chris,
do not lie to me. Do not lie to me. Do not lie to me.
Chris, calm down.
You don't believe that anyway. You don't believe that anyway.
Calm down.
You don't believe that. You don't.
No, Chris.
You don't. Why are you so scared of that burning in fire? You don't believe in fire.
I'm not scared of burning in fire.
Why are you so animated about it?
No, but Chris,
why are you so animated about it?
No, but Chris, listen. First of all, we're told.
Can I ask you a question?
First of all, we're told Allah forgives all sins.
Except shirk.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. But now, when we define what shirk is,
it's accepting others as God.
Hold on a second.
As God. Jesus as God.
But what does the Prophet Muhammad say? That even on the Day of Judgment, even an atom's weight of iman, of belief, Allah will give that person paradise.
No.
Hold on a second. Now, this concept of exactly to what degree Allah will not accept and accept. Now, the issue here is this, Chris. Now, listen, Chris.
It's very clear.
But issue.
If you think Jesus is the Son of God, you'll burn in hell for eternity.
It doesn't say that.
The Quran doesn't say that.
Chris.
The Quran doesn't say that.
It's shirk.
Chris,
the Quran doesn't say that.
In the olden days, the judges would pass sentences even on children, and they would jail them in hard labour.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You could argue that rule was right or wrong, but you could not argue that the judge didn't exist. You see my point? In other words, not accepting a ruling or accepting a ruling does not invalidate the person who's made the ruling.
You can question the ruling.
Or question the existence of the one who made that ruling. Do you understand my point? So it's a separate issue. So if you talk about moral issues based upon what you believe God would do, that's a moral issue that we can discuss. But you can't deny the existence of the one who made the ruling.
You just question it.
You understand my point? So all I'm saying to you, Chris, is that humbly, rather than be so entrenched in because it's a belief, right? at least be open-minded and say, okay, Hamza, this issue about, for example, being burnt in hell, I can't reconcile this issue.
No, go on.
How do you explain that within theology? How can you explain that to me whereby, maybe I might understand it, because I don't understand. Now, this issue that you raise is a theological debate, an issue even amongst scholars of all faiths, Judaism, certainly Christianity and Islam, as to how they can reconcile this loving God, merciful God, and then at the same token hear about these very harsh punishments. You understand what I'm saying, Chris? But that's a theological debate and a discussion that we can have, certainly. But don't deny the existence of a creator based on something that doesn't sit on your heart in terms of a particular ruling or a particular thing. All I'm going to say to you, Chris, is this. Look, by accepting Islam, you lead, and Hamza's raised this point many times, a more wholesome life, a life with less things that would affect you in a very adverse way, like alcohol, like drugs, like gambling, womanizing. I'm not saying that you do. I'm not saying you do, Chris. And it opens up, even psychologically now we've found that people who do believe in a creator, they have less mental illness, they have less depression, they have less suicide. So you have to ask yourself, within even an objective way, that there must be something in there that must be benefiting these people. One of the things recently I was looking at is the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And you hear all these slurs about he was like this and he was like that. And he was, and then recently I thought, well, let me look into what do the non-Muslim historians and academics say about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. People say he's a false prophet. They say he's a liar. They say he was delusional. He was this, he was that. But this chap here, for example, Michael Hart.
Oh, mashallah.
He wrote a book.
That's nice.
And he wrote a book about the most influential person that ever existed in history. Now, he is a scientist.
And a Christian.
A Christian. No, listen, a Christian, a scientist, an author. Who does he pick as number one? A false prophet, a liar, a deceiver, a person who made stuff up? No. He picks Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as the most influential man that ever exists. Now, even as an atheist, but hold on a second. But listen. Even as an atheist, you know what you should ask yourself?
Why? Have you read this?
Why would this man write a book, do a study?
You've got to see that's important.
No.
He's number 5.
Chris, but Chris, my point to you,
why is Muhammad number 1?
Even as an atheist, Chris, is that if this is a false religion, this is a false... Hold on a second, Chris.
That doesn't prove it's true.
No, but what it does do is this, Chris. To an objective, balanced, rational human being, it poses a very deep philosophical and fundamental question, which is that if this man is false, if he's made it up, in the 7th century, a goat herder, with no military, with no power, with no real influence, becomes the greatest in existence, the question has to be asked, why? How? And upon that investigation, Chris, hopefully, I hope, and I pray for you, and I hope that I'm guided and stay on the right path as well, which is that when you pose these type of questions and you ponder on them, believe you me, I know somebody who's doing a PhD today, he's a biologist, accepted Islam just by studying the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Because that person was convinced that, and they happen to be a psychologist, they got a doctorate in psychology as well, right? They weren't Muslim, but they didn't even read the Quran. They just studied the life of the Prophet Muhammad, but because they were open-minded, and they studied it with an open heart and an open mind, they were convinced that this could not be a false prophet, this could not be a liar, this could not be somebody delusional. They took away all the variables, all the possibilities that the accusations that are being made against him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, and they came to the conclusion that, you know what, this is a messenger from God. Now, what I'm asking you to do, Chris, is I'm saying to you, Chris, please, just have an open mind. Don't be so entrenched and so aggressive and angry in your. Well, Chris, all I'm saying to you is be objective. be sensible and you know, ponder on the fact that look, we're going to die very, very shortly.
It's not an argument.
Chris,
fear
no, but, no, it's not about fear, Chris.
It is.
No.
Whoa. Sorry, I have to interject now. Unfortunately, Chris, you're wrong again. All right. Man is only motivated by punishment or reward. Only. Yeah?
Really?
Yes. So, for example, when there's a double yellow line, why don't you park on it randomly? Because you fear a ticket, isn't it? So fear is a motivation. So, right. So,
I know it's dangerous to park there.
no, you don't not park at double lines because you think it's dangerous. You park because you probably think your rational mind will say, "Why is this dangerous? It doesn't look dangerous. I'm all right here." No, you'll park there. You won't park there because you know why? Because you fear a parking ticket. So fear will motivate you to move. Why? Because that is how human beings are. We'll do things to avoid a consequence, and we'll do things to get reward. This is just how we operate.
Well,
and what we're saying is, and what
That's why people like religion.
No, not at all. This is why our Creator knows man inside out. He knows his motivations. So he gives you the greatest reward to attain and the greatest punishment to avoid to bring you to the good. Simple.
Except within my system.
The council do not want to give you a ticket for parking on yellow lines to inconvenience you. They're doing it for the benefit of everyone, yeah? But you'll be motivated by that fear. That fear will motivate you. So the fear of hellfire, in reality, should motivate you. You know why? Because it motivated me. Because you know what? Because you are going to die one day. And whether you think when you die you're worm food and that's the end of it, you cannot prove that. You don't know if it's true. You just hope it's true. And if it's not, you've got big problems, Chris. So what I would do if I were you, rather than just holding on to what you think and just refuting everybody, look at who's claiming what's going to happen after you die, why they're making such a claim, and is that claim substantiated?
I've read the Quran twice.
You can read the Quran. What did I say to you earlier? Chris, what did I say to you? What method do you employ to understand what the Quran says?
Read it.
No, what method do you use? Look, I can read a book. Okay, I'll give you an example. I could read a book on quantum physics. Yeah, does that mean after I finish reading this book on quantum physics, I will understand quantum mechanics? Obviously not. I will need to go to a quantum physicist and say, what did it mean by this process? Wouldn't I?
What was the context?
So you can't just read something.
Well, how does that word apply to this situation or that situation?
You can't just read and understand.
There's a lot
you
of
need
nuances.
a tool to understand it. So if you've read the Quran twice, alhamdulillah, it's beautiful. But how have you understood it? How have you?
It's very easy.
No, so I'll ask one more time. What method have you used to understand the verses of the Quran?
Read it.
So you've got your method is your rationale.
Yeah.
And he's read a translation in English, you know.
All right, I'll give you a problem. It's the Quran.
You go to what?
Big problem I have with the Quran.
The problem you have with the Quran.
Yeah. Let's say that nice verse, the one every bit about. Is it verse 1886?
Verse
Well, the clear states-
1886.
I remember this one. It says he's walking, something like he walked on the road to reach the setting place of the sun. He found sitting in a muddy spring.
Who walked on the road?
So, the two-horned one.
Who's that?
I can't remember his name. Actually, it's upon
You're just referring to the muddy puddle, sunsetting in the muddy puddle.
I understand what he's referring to.
I know,
yeah.
I know. Let him just have the leeway on that.
So what do you think it's saying?
It says the sun sets in a muddy spring.
What does that mean?
The sun sets in a muddy spring.
What do you think that's what it's saying?
Yeah.
The sun
Yeah.
sets in a muddy spring
That's what it says.
when the Quran also
He
tells you.
found it, says,
What does the Quran say about the sun other than your muddy spring?
it's around in orbit.
What?
It's around the earth in orbit.
Right, so where's this muddy spring?
I don't know.
Well, according to you, the Quran says it sets in a muddy spring. So is this muddy spring?
There's no such thing as the muddy spring.
So there's two things
It's
here.
wrong.
Either there's a muddy spring in orbit around the Earth as well. Well, no. This is your only
the sun
conclusion.
goes into a muddy spring.
Right. So where's this muddy spring?
It doesn't exist.
Right.
That's how I know the
Right.
Quran is
So the sun is going. So you're saying you're agreeing that the sun is going around. You're saying the sun is going around the Earth.
The Quran says the sun's going round in an
The
orbit.
Quran says that.
Yeah, it's going in an orbit.
The
It
Qur-
goes across the sky.
The Quran says the sun goes in an orbit. It doesn't say the Earth is orbiting the sun.
I don't know what about that.
Each have their orbit.
Each have their orbit. Okay. So
The sun and the moon.
So you're saying the sun is in an orbit, yeah?
Yeah.
And at the same time, the Quran says the sun is in an orbit,
Yeah.
and at the same time, the Quran is saying it sets in a muddy pool.
It's up, down, around.
Now, what does that tell you?
So your reason for
What
denying
does that
the
tell
Quran,
you?
your reason for denying...
tells you it's rubbish.
No, it tells you you've misunderstood what it means. No.
It tells you
It
it's
tells
rubbish.
me. You know what it tells me? This muddy spring is metaphoric, and it's not talking a literal
come on.
muddy spring. That's what it tells me.
I mean metaphorical.
When you see the sun setting, when you see the sun setting, yeah, does it look
beyond the horizon?
Does it look like it's setting in the sea? Does it look like it's setting in the sea?
No, it's beyond the horizon.
Does it look like it's setting in the sea?
No.
It doesn't look like it.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. When you watch the sun setting, does it look like it's setting in the sea if you're on the beach?
It's like it's beyond on the horizon.
Does it look like it's setting in the sea?
No.
It doesn't look like it.
So this is where you're losing credibility.
Honestly, Chris.
It's beyond the horizon, beyond the sea.
If the Quran
Beyond
states, as you're saying, that if the Quran
The sun's in
states
orbit.
that the sun's going in orbit.
No, hold on. Look, you've got a flat world, right? With a dome over it.
What?
Do you believe in the world's
The
flat?
sun inside the dome.
Do you believe that?
That's basically-
Do you believe that? So who's claiming that flat Earth and dome?
Come on.
Where?
Quran often talks about the firmament being like a tent.
What?
Chris, let me explain something.
Something like
No, but Chris, let me.
You know what I asked you earlier?
No, but listen.
Wait a second, sorry. I will let you say. So just so I understood earlier, is this your rationale? You're reading the Quran and this is how you're interpreting it.
Okay, let's listen.
All right. I see your problem.
I'm sticking with the muddy
I see your
spring.
problem. I see your
The
problem.
muddy spring is the thing I'm dealing with, right? And you can't give me an excuse for the muddy spring.
If I can, then what?
Come on then.
No.
Let's see.
No. I don't work that way. If we can show you now that the way you've understood the Quran is incorrect, yeah, will you accept that that's a stupid argument and you won't bring it up again? And you'll also question all the other stupid arguments you have to see if they're just as stupid.
Okay.
No. Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If you prove me wrong, I'll accept I'm wrong.
Prove what wrong?
By the muddy spring.
Chris, the way that the grammar has been explained there is that in the Quran, Allah talks about parables. Allah talks about how things appear to people.
Does he?
Yes. It does
You've
not-
read it twice?
It does not necessarily mean that the sun set it into a muddy pool. It appeared to them so. So what you've got to understand is
No, it does not. It says found.
Hold on
The
a
word
second.
is found.
Let me explain.
He found it
Please,
sitting
let me.
in the-
Okay. So
Found by who?
by who?
By the witnesses.
No.
By who?
No. So basically,
The horned one.
so what you're saying now is that the two horned one, he's his opinion. Yes.
No, he
yes.
found it.
So he no.
Definite statement.
According to him.
No, but listen.
definite
No, but Chris.
statement.
No. It's not
Chris,
saying
let me
that.
explain something to you. Look, and I'm not trying to be disingenuous here. You know, in Arabic, it's a very, very, very rich language in a sense that I'll explain to you why. So, for example,
It's still dumb.
No, hold on a second, Chris. Hold on a second. So, for example, listen, hold on. So, like the word sleep. In English, we have the word sleep, or sleepy rather, sleepy. Yeah. In Arabic, there are, I think, more than a dozen words used for exactly what type of sleep.
Yeah, things like dozy and that sort of thing.
Right, but it goes way beyond that, and that's what I mean. So
Right.
often what happens is you'll get a translation,
Time
and it will say
No. I
sleepy.
don't go to that.
It will say sleepy, but it's a rendition of
got the verse.
an Arabic word that could not be exactly sleepy, but it could be dozing. It could be eye shut. It could be fast asleep. It could be all sorts of different. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. When we read the Quran, for example, in English, we don't say that's the Quran. We say that is a approximation of roughly the meaning of the Quran. That's not the Quran though, because as Muslims we recognize that the grammar of the Quran, the words spoken by God, as we say, are the Arabic Quran. This is just a rendition of a very just a zest, a feeling of what its subject matter, what it's talking about. And so that's why even as Muslims, when I read the Quran in English, because I don't understand Arabic, I'll read the verses and I'll say, okay, I will go to somebody who's an expert within the grammar and knowledgeable about the context, and I will say, what does that refer to? What does it mean? Because the Quran, you've read the Quran twice, right? Allah says that there are some verses that are plain, that anybody can understand, and there are some that they're not plain, they're not easily understood. You have to refer to scholarship and academia. And the Quran makes that very clear. So it gives you listen, Chris, so it gives you the tools to interpret it, and it tells you that there are some verses that are plain, and there are others that are not. And so by saying that, it's explaining to you that you can't just simply interpret it yourself, and in a language that's been translated from a very rich classical Arabic language. It's not It's not something that you can just easily do. So what you should do.
Look at this verse.
All right.
Okay.
Shall I explain it?
I can't explain
All
it.
right.
Let Hamza explain.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So this is the verse in question. You're saying it's referring to something called Qur'an, and it's in Surah Al-Kaf, verse 86. For anyone wants to reference it, it says, "So when he reached the setting place of the sun, he found it setting in a muddy spring, and found a people thereabout. We said, O Dhul Qarnayn, either punish or show them kindness." Okay, this is the Surah Al-Kaf, right? Now, using your rationale, explain the verse.
It's wrong.
No, explain what you think it's saying.
It says the sun sets in a muddy spring.
Right, all right.
On a flat world.
Right. So when he says, and he found it setting, what does that mean?
He found it. He was there. He found it. He saw it.
Right. So what does it mean though?
He saw it.
He saw what?
He saw it set in a muddy spring.
Right. So when he saw the sun setting, yeah, to him it's doing what? Right.
He's using the word found. The found.
Right. No. So he came to a place. He came to a place where the sun sets. Looks like it's setting in the water. Yeah. Right. Right. Let me give you an explanation of it. Yeah. How's that? Okay. Till when he reached the setting place of the sun. This means that Dhul Qarnayn followed a route until he reached the furthest point that could reach in the direction of the sun setting, which is the west of the earth. As for the idea of his reaching the place in the sky where the sun sets, this is something impossible. And the tales told by storytellers. Yeah, right, it is impossible. We know that. Okay. He found it setting in a muddy spring. Means that he saw the sun as if it was setting in the ocean. This is okay.
It's this thing.
Listen to me. Okay, listen. Are you listening?
No.
Are you listening?
Spring.
Are you
What's the
listening?
Arabic word? You know?
No.
Are you listening?
No.
What's the Arabic?
No.
What's the Arabic word?
Are you listening?
It's spring.
Are you listening?
It's translated
Are you
as
listening?
spring.
Are you listening?
Translated.
Not ocean.
It's
Are you listening?
translated as.
Are you listening?
Why are you
That's a
getting so
lie.
upset?
Are you listening?
Because you're lying.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
lie.
what have I lied about? I'm reading the Quran. I'm lying.
You said
really
ocean.
No.
You said ocean.
No, I didn't. As if. I'll explain it to you. See, what I'm doing now, you see, I'm understanding the Quran.
No, you're
listen.
making excuses.
Shall I explain to you?
You're making up excuses.
Chris. This is on camera, mate.
Ocean.
It's on camera, mate. There's no
But it doesn't
excuses here.
matter. It matters.
Chris.
But you're passing a judgment
Chris.
on a matter of.
No.
No,
Let me continue.
no.
Ocean.
Listen.
No, but you're.
Do not use the word ocean.
But Chris,
to me.
but Chris,
Listen,
That makes
Chris.
me angry.
Okay, Chris.
That's when you're
Chris.
lying.
Why are you getting angry for?
Because you're lying.
No, why are you getting angry
It's
for?
used the word ocean.
Okay, so what's the Arabic word used?
Speak.
No.
What's Arabic? What's Arabic word?
What's the Arabic word used?
It's the word to spring, not ocean.
What's the Arabic word?
Be honest.
No,
no,
you
what's
tell
the
me.
Arabic word?
You
So
tell me
if
the
you
word
don't
to
even know,
spring and the
if you
word
don't
to
even
ocean.
know what
So you don't know
word is being translated, why the hell
So
why are you getting so emotional
translate
about
this
something?
thing?
Why are
They
you?
translate it as
Chris,
people who know Arabic
if you
translate
don't know
it as spring. I trust them.
If you don't know the Arabic
Yeah.
word being
Yeah.
used, why are you
come
getting
on.
so angry
Oh, come on.
about a word that you don't even know if there's other possible translations for it?
What's the possible translation?
What's the word?
Come on, no.
What's the word that's being used? I'm asking you a question
Oh, come
very
on.
directly. What is the word being used?
You don't even you know Arabic?
Yes.
Come on, you tell me.
So why don't you know
You
this?
tell me the word for ocean
Why do
and the word
why-
for spring.
Oh, you're making the
You're making
claims.
the claim. Why do you not know this?
No, you're making a claim. This guy's making a claim
No, you made the claim.
that the word for spring
No.
is ocean.
Chris,
That's
can I
a
ask you
lie.
a
No.
question?
That is a lie.
Can I ask you a
I think
question?
you're
It is.
disingenuous.
Can I ask you a
Honestly,
question? Can I ask you a
I think we end it now.
No, can I ask you a
I'm gonna
question?
end it now.
Chris, can I ask you a question?
Go on.
The,
I've got one question.
you
though.
appreciate that when the Quran is in Arabic, right?
Yeah, okay.
So you appreciate also that people will have a different choice of words when they translate.
many.
No, hold on a second.
Not that many.
No, but they will.
you don't know
But they will,
actually.
won't they?
You've got no idea.
come
No, but hold on.
You've got no idea.
But people will choose a choice of words which they feel are best explanatory towards the original Arabic, right?
Right.
Now you will accept that obviously they will differ in the choice of words, right? So what would be logical then, I believe, and rational and reasonable and balanced, is that you would say, well, that doesn't make sense if I were to translate it in that way, but this translator has translated it in this way, and I think, you know what, I need to go back to find out what that word is and what are the possible translations to that word, right?
you.
Now, hold on a second, right? So now, if you go back to the original the Arabic, and you look at the grammar and the translation of those words, and in fact, you look at the context and how it's being explained, and it actually results in how it appeared to that individual.
That's the whole point.
Rather than make it a matter of fact, because the reason why I say that it can't mean that is because the Quran says that they are all in their orbit. in Surah Anbiya. I think is it Surah Anbiya?
He's already accepted it's in orbit.
Allah says that they are in their own orbits. Right, okay. So if you argue that the Quran is already saying that they are in their own orbits, then clearly it cannot set on earth on a muddy puddle.
Does it go like that?
No, but it can't set in a muddy puddle then.
Yes, it can. It go like that.
So then what you would have to do, being reasonable...
No.
But Chris, what you would have to do...
If there's a contradiction in the Quran, that's not a problem to me.
Hang on a second. If the translations are what you're going by, I've found translations that uses the word see. So what are you going to do
There you
now?
go, yeah.
No, the point here...
To make it
Chris,
up.
hear my point. I have found a translation, even if I find one.
No.
Even if I find one, a translation where the word see is used. Where is your point now?
The point is,
Where is your
somebody
point? Your point is
desperately
invalid.
changed the word to make it something it's not me.
No, it just shows
No.
the Arabic word is not spring.
So desperate.
So, no, you're the one who's being desperate, Chris.
to explain this.
Which translation of the Quran do you read?
I
don't think it's dodgy at all.
Which translation of the Quran do you read?
That's not even the point. It doesn't matter if it says see or spring at all.
Which verse says, which Quran says? Okay.
Okay, how many of those translations say spring?
I found at least one. Do you want more?
I checked them. I did check a list of them.
Well, you need to check
And I
them more.
found one that said ocean.
So the point here is this: one, you've admitted the Quran says that
Whoa! You admit it does say ocean.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
You said you found one. You found one. You found one. You said you found one. No, hold on a second. No, that's important.
That person
You got
lied.
so angry.
Lied.
Exactly.
You got so angry and
That person-
animated when I said ocean, and yet you accept.
No,
You
I
have read a copy of the Quran that says that.
He's a liar.
But he's a liar.
The one who wrote it was a liar.
How would you know he's a liar?
How do you know he's lying?
How do you know he's
Because
a
it
liar?
goes against his understanding.
Because everybody else disagreed with him.
So how do you know he's not telling the truth and the rest are wrong?
Brilliant. I love that. All those people are wrong. All those translations
How do you
are
know?
wrong.
How do you
Bar
know?
one.
How do you know?
All of them
How do you know?
liars. Bar one.
Not lying. Not lying.
Brilliant.
Listen,
Absolutely fantastic.
can you be misunderstood without lying? Can you misunderstand something without lying? Is not misunderstanding something truthful?
You have so far failed to prove to me this word means.
I don't have to prove anything to you, Chris. Chris, if someone misunderstands something, does that mean they're lying?
No.
It doesn't,
But
does it?
people do lie.
No, but you just said now. So you just accused.
One says ocean.
No, but you've just accused that person of lying.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
Or the others are misunderstood.
No.
What do you mean no?
I understand why you're an atheist, actually.
Yeah.
I do understand.
Do you know what I say about atheists? You've not engaged your brain, mate.
Oh, yes, I have.
And I thought, listen, sorry, no.
I agree with you.
No, I'm going to take it straight. You atheists,
one is lying.
Chris, you atheists claim to be intellectual,
Yes.
reasonable,
Yes.
logical.
Yes.
Well, we've got the evidence here. You're not.
Wrong.
You're not. You've used logical fallacies throughout this discussion.
No.
Yeah? You're trying to tell us what Arabic means.
Yes.
Yeah?
You
You've shown us that the Quran says the sun is in orbit, and then you're also claiming the sun claims it sets in a muddy pool.
You can't do that, yeah.
Right. You claim the Quran says it's a flat earth with a dome. Where have you got that from?
What?
Where?
Where? You've also conceded you don't use any tools to understand the Quran except what? Your brain.
Yes.
And you think you're qualified to read a book and understand it without any background knowledge of it.
Yeah.
Chris, been a pleasure. Thank you. Okay, that was Chris. Chris is gone. I know I've repeated this so many times. We play the ball, not the man here. We're not interested in Chris as an individual. We're not worried about his personal... I don't know what happened to him at 7 years of age that made him think about God and why things have happened to him. Another story. The principle here is this. This guy's an atheist. This guy is denying an uncaused cause to be powerful or intelligent because it means he may have to accept the idea of a God. So what does he do? He creates a magic spark. The spark of the universe, the God of the spark. Sorry, the spark of the gaps. This is not logical. He accuses my understanding of an uncaused cause to be illogical and throws logical fallacies of straw men out there. He uses special pleading that we know there's no such thing as a spark that causes itself, and yet he produces one because it explains the universe without having to worry about a God. He then moves on to the Quran. He then tries to tell us about verses of the Quran, and yet at the same time he accepts that he doesn't use a tool to understand the Quran. Now, like I said, we play the man, not the ball. This is for all you people. Atheists, agnostics, Christians, whatever. If you want to quote the Quran, please understand it. Please go to the people who spent their lives understanding it, who know the language, know the history. You know, I hear many Christians say to me, oh, isn't that convenient that Muhammad ﷺ came up with a verse when it suited him? Oh no, this is how the Quran was revealed over 23 years. This is how it's applicable. This is how we use it as a practical way. So we know when circumstances occur how to deal with it. Like, for example, we spoke about kill the unbelievers wherever you find them, which is a verse people like Britain's First like to use. But we look at the context of any text. What does it say before it? Fight those who fight you. Therefore, there's context to what it's saying. So if you want to quote the Quran to us Muslims, please have some kind of understanding of the verses, why and when they were revealed. Please don't be like Chris, because atheists are supposed to be intellectual, reasonable, logical, and my man here was anything but. Anyway, inshallah, may Allah guide you all.